Hi there, Hummingbird family. I was meditating this morning and I felt a very strong urge to do a reading for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I sat down and the deck wasn't working. I felt a message. I'm going to share it with you using this symbol. Ironically, right then, when I started doing that, we had a very strong earthquake where I'm at. So that's kind of how I'm feeling this message. It's sudden, it's quick, and it's meant to create some sort of shifts in your life in thinking or in structural shifts. Let me explain. This message is for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I'm going to use the Tao symbol of the yin and yang, okay? Or what's called in the streets the peace symbol. Okay, we have to have some humor here. Okay, so I'm going to use this symbol. You want to picture all this colored in, but you get the idea. So we live in a dualistic planet where opposite forces are like a mirror to us, reflecting back what inside of us has parts of that frequency, correct? And so the divine feminine in current times is going through a very strong duality. We, and as well as the divine masculine, we're feeling biologically, right, on a cellular level, we're feeling what our parents, our great grandparents, our grandparents, and so on did not address. Maybe they weren't ready to. Evolution doesn't happen overnight, it's a transition of steps as we evolve, as we grow. And our times are reflecting back to us topics that have been collectively suppressed, okay? And so, with the divine feminine, the message I'm here to share with you is that there is a dream, there is an illusion, there's a hope of finding protection outside of yourself, okay? Finding a finding some sort of someone, okay? I'm here to tell you that nothing can protect you more than your own intuition, because your intuition and your gut is the direct voice that you have from the divine, from your higher self. That's the supreme of it all, right? And if you talk to many of the women who have been hurt or attacked, or even their life cut short in the hands of people that they loved, you will find a lot of research that shows that at some level they ignored their gut. They ignored that feeling that something was off, okay? They suppressed things in society. So these times are reflecting back to the divine feminine. It's urging us all to go inward and to trust our divine guidance, to trust our gut, to trust our intuition, because that is the highest protector, okay? Not outside of ourselves, but within ourselves. And that those are centuries of we have centuries of being fed this illusion that something outside of ourselves saves us or helps us. You know, we see it in movies, we see it in the way many doctrines have indoctrinated people to believe that. The message I was getting is that what that is doing, it's reflecting back to us our own need to go inward and to know that your highest protector is your direct contact with the divine, your gut. The divine masculine, I felt almost like a heartbreak, like a child craving the embrace of a safe mother. Okay. And the message that came through for the divine masculine is this yearning to be cared for, to be held, to be loved as you are, to be accepted as you are, to be nurtured. Okay. And the message that came through with that sense of heartbreak or insecurity that I was feeling, unsafe as well in the world, a lot of pressure, a lot of heaviness on the shoulders for some of you. There is also this reflection back to you. Where in your life do you need to nurture yourself? Do you need to tap into your softer side? Where in your home do you have to make sure that it's aesthetically nurturing to your senses? Okay, that there's space held for you to be human. Okay, so to be human, to be you, to break down if you need to. Okay, that's the feeling. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what I was feeling very strongly in this reading. And so what I got for both is this urge to go inward, to go inward. Where, divine masculine, do you need to take care of Mother Earth? The energy and that embraces you, that is in harmony with you. Where do you need to make peace with the feminine in your family, or the mother in your family? Where is the unbalance in your own family? Where is the trauma that needs to be cleansed with you? Okay, what did grandpa hold on to? What did grandma hold on to? Was the messages that I was feeling. What is the family trauma that you're holding on to that didn't allow for you to be nurtured? Okay, and so the message overall is this notion that not to put idols, what I consider, or something else, or that expectation outside of yourself. Okay, it's going to disappoint you. If you rely on the divine masculine to save you above your gut, you will be disappointed. If you rely on the divine feminine to hold space for you and nurture you, you will be disappointed if you have not done that for yourself. Okay? If you already do that for yourself, you know what it feels like. You set the bar for what a safe home is, what a safe place is, because you created that for yourself, divine masculine. You know what that feels like. And so you align with that frequency. You align with the frequency of women that have those qualities because you have them within yourself. You know how to nurture. Therefore, you attract nurture. Same with the divine feminine. You know how to trust your gut above anything. You won't abandon your gut for what somebody else says. Therefore, you can spot deviancy a mile away because you don't abandon your inner gut. You don't abandon your inner intuition, your protector. Okay? When you do that, it is automatic that you attract or you align with energies that also protect themselves, and therefore you protect each other equally, if that makes sense. I felt that pull very strongly this morning. I don't know who needed to hear that message. It just came through. I couldn't the cards just weren't working today, so I know that this is the symbol. If you see it out there in the world, you know that it was specifically a message for you, a reminder that every duality, men, female, um, every every duality that you see in the world is reflecting something within you, within me. The power is not outside of ourselves, it's always within ourselves. Okay? If you, for example, if you live in the United States right now, you're going to see a lot of division within politics as well. What is that reflecting back to you? What is it saying about you? Because I'm telling you, from a person who has dedicated many, many years into human behavior and working with human beings of all colors, genders, shades, I'm telling you, at the core of every human being, there is a need for love. It doesn't matter what political party you belong to, there's a need for safety. And we're mirroring that back to one another. Where do we need more empathy? Where do we need more awareness? Where do we need more compassion, right? So I felt that duality very strongly this morning. Please keep in mind this is not a political post, and so if we can reframe from that, I would really appreciate it. This is a very neutral spiritual place to get our minds off of that, but it is coming up as a reflection and a reminder that everything outside of us is triggering something within. That's why we're here. We live in a dualistic planet. And so the light and the shadow are always reflecting, and there's always in spiritual beliefs more light wanting to come in. So there's a need to release shadows as we work into in the growth. The spiritual growth and evolution is not linear, right? We continue to grow and expand, and as we grow, we get a shadow that matches that growth, right? For example, those of you who grew up in religious sectors, you would know that the prophets or the people that brought messages were tested in very high. They had heavy tests to match their level of evolution. One example, we find it in the Christ consciousness, where when he was ready to begin to teach to people the power that they had within themselves, he had a very difficult shadow that tested him. He had to be in the mountains, and that's a parable describing this Taoist concept, right? He had to be in a mountain and be exposed to hunger and in a mental test of whether he would give up in hardship. And so it's the same thing individually, and it's the same thing collectively. We are growing, we are evolving, we are expanding, and we're always being faced with a shadow, okay? And that shadow will test you at your level of evolution, your level of awareness. So the question is, what is the collective shadow pointing back to us? What is it steering up? What needs to be released and what needs to be healed so we can connect with one another and build this earth that we're all craving, where there's safety and justice for everyone. So I hope this reading was helpful, you guys. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next message. Bye.